Well, it's 6:30, a little bit after 6:30 Central Standard Time. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to our first live session. As I get started, I realize there might be some people that are still coming in, but I do want to respect everyone's time. As we get started, I just want to do a quick sound check. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. And then can you guys see the PowerPoint okay?
Yes.
Good. I know that there's some people using the chat box, and I just would like you guys to unmute your microphones and mute your microphones so we can actually have a conversation. It's a little bit better and a little bit more interactive for me if we do that. But, you know, at this time, you can mute your microphones. It does cut down on the background noise. And then whenever I ask you a question, or if you have a question, you could unmute your microphone at any time to participate in the conversation that we're having. So, this is tonight's agenda. There is a lot for the first live session, but I promise it won't be too intimidating for everyone. This is the overview. We will get to know each other a little bit by talking about how the class is going so far, live classroom expectations, scoring rubrics, submitting assignments, exploration assignments, APA formatting, and the whole child concept, state licensing rules, and then you guys will have time for questions and answers. Excuse me. If you have a question, feel free to chime in at any time. If you do have questions at the end, or if you have questions that you might have after the live session, feel free to reach out to me via text, via email, and I will get back to you at my earliest convenience. I usually don't take very long to get back to you. It's usually within an hour or two. Yeah, that is a little bit about the agenda. So I'm going to have welcome and introductions. So I just want to share a little bit about myself, and then I want to hear a little bit about each of you guys. So I'm originally from a small farm town in northeastern North Dakota. I am a graduate from the University of North Dakota with a bachelor's in history. I did later decide in life that I had a passion for little kids in early childhood education. So after graduation, I moved from Red Forks, North Dakota to where I currently reside in Denver Metro to pursue a career in early childhood education. I've worked for the public and private sectors as a teacher and a director for the last 12 years. And I also have worked in the public schools as a special needs paraeducator. I did receive my master's degree in early childhood education in an online classroom, similar to what you guys are currently experiencing with your online class. Right now, I am currently an education supervisor for a Head Start program in Denver. And I have a passion for working with children and families who are underprivileged. And one day, I hope to go back to school to pursue my doctoral degree in early childhood development. But having a child right now, it takes a lot of my time. So probably not going to do that for a while. And so my favorite toy growing up as a child was a My Buddy doll because I wanted blonde hair, and he had blonde hair. I don't know if you guys know much about northeastern North Dakota. A lot of the people up there are blonde hair, blue eyes. I just wanted to fit in to be accepted. Kind of a silly reason, but That was a little bit about me. Now I'm going to open it up to conversation and invite each of you to introduce yourself, share your name, where you reside, type of degree you're pursuing, and your favorite child and why.
We just start talking.
Yeah, great. That'd be awesome.
Okay. My name is Brandy. I live in Minnesota. I am going for early education for development or early childhood education because I'm opening a daycare center. And my favorite toy, my pet dog, I would say, because you can never disappoint your dog. They're always your friend.
So, Brandy, where are you opening? Remind me again. Where are you opening a child care center at?
In Minnesota.
Where in Minnesota?
Evelyn.
Trying to think of where that is.
Like the Iron Range.
Oh,
We're
okay.
only like 2 hours from Canada.
Yep. Yeah, I get you. That's about where I lived on the northeastern. I don't know if you ever heard of Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half away from the border. So yeah, I get it. Thanks for sharing.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Yuratsi. I'm currently in Joliet, Illinois, and I'm studying I'm trying to get my degree in early childhood. And my favorite toy as a child had to be Barbies, because who didn't love Barbies? I love dressing them up, and I always pretend to be a teacher, so I've always had my goal to become a teacher.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Yuratsi, and welcome.
Hi, my name is Nikhil Weathers, and I'm from Illinois. I'm getting my certificate in ECE, and I don't remember what my favorite toy was as a child. I don't even know if I had a favorite one. That's my answer.
Well, welcome, Nicole, and thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Genesis. I am from Puerto Rico. I am right now in the United States in Chicago. I'm going for my associates for ECE, and my favorite toy was the dolls. And I was able to carry them like a baby.
Thank you, Genesis, for sharing, and welcome.
Thank
you. Anyone else?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, I'm not sure if my microphone works too well. I'm kind of in the process. I'm correct. I'm in Virginia right now, pursuing my ECE degree. I guess I'm not, well, in essence, I'm trying to become a teacher, but I'm kind of really add on to my business now. I've been into art for the last 5 years, working for myself, and I want to pursue opening up a art center for children. My favorite toy as a child, maybe play with toys. I have to say with nature and playing in the yard. I'm definitely a nature baby. It's kind of crazy too.
Thank you for sharing, Corinne. I could hear you.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Here you see that nobody else. Oh, we have one. This is Havina. I'm probably saying your name wrong. Correct me if I am. She's from New York City. She's working on her ECE degree, and favorite toy was a bunny. Thank you and welcome to the class. So I'm going to continue on because we do have a lot to go in a big class to get through. Having some technical difficulties with my computer, which is great. So, give me 1 second, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties. So there we go. All right, so I just wanted to take a moment to ask you guys, how are you guys, how's it going so far, and are you guys able to navigate through the course, the modules, the discussions, general course questions, course messages, weekly announcements, calendar, and resource tab? My biggest suggestion is, since this is a online class, is to practice and play around with Blackboard. If you're not familiar with it, sometimes our best teacher is ourselves. So, yeah, I want to hear from you guys. Savina said that everything is going good.
I'm not too familiar with the Blackboard, so I kind of have been playing around with it, but I'm still kind of playing. It's only the first week, though, so I still have time.
Oh, yeah, you do have time, but I don't know if any of you guys are enrolled in your CVE classes. The CVE classes, if you are, it's a lot different than the Blackboard format. CVE classes gives you multiple attempts to complete your assignments, whereas the Blackboard format, you have actual deadlines weekly to do. So, just make sure to really look at that course calendar. If you can't find it, let me know. That's going to be kind of your Bible to how you will and when you will complete stuff in the course. So I will be going over that a little bit with you guys in a little bit here. So yeah, just try to familiarize yourself as best as you can.
Yeah, it's new for me too, so it's been kind of hard, like, know where everything goes, but it's the first week, so trying to figure it out.
Trying to know which class you're in, too, because if you have more than one class, it's like, oh, shoot, am I in the right one that I know I'm trying to look for?
Are you in any CBE classes?
No.
Okay, well, that's a good thing because that's completely a different format, and you'll be real confused if you're in two different formats.
Yeah, I have two classes right now, and they're both pretty the same, so that helps.
Good. That is good to hear.
Same here, but it is kind of hard to know like which one is which one.
Yeah.
And what are CBE classes?
CBE classes?
What are those?
They're competency-based education classes. Basically, they are classes that, your advisor could probably give you some more information about what they are, but basically it's a different format than Blackboard. You get multiple attempts at trying to do your assignments. Basically, I do not know what is going on with my PowerPoint, but it's like freaking out on me. I'm so sorry, guys. So basically, it's just a different format.
Okay.
A different format that gives you multiple attempts at completing and mastering the rubric and mastering the assignment.
You said they're competency-based education.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I do apologize once again, guys. I don't know what is going on with my computer. I feel like it's going to crash, which is not good. I'm going to keep going. Anybody have any other questions as far as navigating through Blackboard? Like I said, just practice, you know. Does get easier with practice, like Azina said. You know, try to practice, and you know, sometimes our best teacher is ourselves. So. All right, moving on. Live classroom expectations. So it is expected that you make an effort and attend each of these live sessions and participate. I appreciate you all taking the time to be part of tonight's live session. If you can not attend the live session, like I know that we have a lot of students in this class, you'll need to view the video in the live session discussion forum and respond to all the questions that I asked during the live session in order to receive full credit. If you are present at the live session and you are expected to contribute to the class conversation in order to receive credit, and if you do, I will know who is on by the very, very last slide. I will ask you at the end to sign your name, and that's how you will receive credit, and there will be no other further things that you have to do for the live session. So pretty easy. And then our next live session will be Tuesday, November 26th at 6:30 p.m. There goes my computer again. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, scoring rubrics. I just wanted to take a moment. So all assignments are graded based on a rubric. Just wanted to make sure that you all know how to access the rubric so you can make sure you meet all of the criteria before submitting an assignment. To view the rubric for each assignment, click on the assignment title under the assignment tab in each module. Towards the upper left side, you will see a box with the total points possible listed. In that box under the total points possible listed, in that box under the total points, there will be a button that says view rubric. By clicking on that button, a new window will open with the scoring rubric. And then please use the rubrics to your advantage to ensure that you receive the most points possible for each assignment. Just note that there is no rubric attached for the discussions. However, if you create a substantial post that answers the prompt questions and you respond to any question I ask you and respond to at least 2 peers with a concise paragraph to extend their learning, then you will or should receive full credit. So biggest thing is if I ask you a question, you need to, 1, Make sure that you have your initial post, which is due tonight, actually at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then you will have to, any questions that I have you respond to it. If you have, and you need to respond to 2 other of your other peers to receive the full points. And making sure that you guys are writing in a paragraph, not just 1 or 2 sentences. You know, the expectation is, you know, you guys are in college. We need you to write in paragraph form to the best of your ability. Anybody have any questions regarding that?
Did you say that we're supposed to respond to two classmates or just 1?
The 2 classmates.
2, okay. For each discussion.
Yep, for each discussion. And
okay.
You just have to make sure that you have those your post done by tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then the responses do need to be completed by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So the discussions are a little wonky of how the Rasmussen has set it up, but they want you guys to have your initial post done by Tuesday, and then have your responses done by Saturday, which is a little funky because all of your other assignments, like your exploration assignments and other assignments are due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So just make sure you note that going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
When is the discussion, do we do the create thread and just do it there, or we have to go where yours start?
So you need to go into your discussion tab, and then you will click on the discussion module that we're in, which is 2. And you will respond to that prompt by creating a thread, and then you will type your response. Sometimes I like to have you guys do Word because then it fixes any spelling errors that you may have, and then post it to the discussion board so everybody can see.
So module 2 today?
For module 2, for module 3, for module 4, and for module 5. Module 6, I think that there's a discussion, but I don't think you guys need to answer to anyone or myself.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yes, module 2 discussion is due today at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So just want to make sure that you guys know that all discussion posts, initial, and your very first one for the modules, are always due on Tuesdays at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time.
But not our responses are due by Saturday, right?
Yep. And then, yep, Saturday are your responses. Anything else?
Good.
All right. I am moving on. The next thing, submitting assignments. Just want to take a moment to review assignment submission. In order to submit an assignment, just click on the assignment title under the assignment tab in each module. You want to scroll down towards the bottom and select the file from your computer that you would like to submit. Select Open. Make sure to click the Submit button once you have uploaded your assignment. And just note that there's a 10% deduction of the total points possible will be deducted for each day that an assignment is late. And like I said, please see the course calendar for all due dates. That will tell you when every single thing is due. One advantage to submitting assignments early is that if you do submit an assignment early before the due date and get a low grade on it, I will let you via course message. I will of course message you, and you'll have the option to redo the assignment to receive a better grade, but it has to be before the due date. So if you do your assignment on a Wednesday and I correct it by Thursday and you don't like your grade, I will let you redo it so you can have it completed by Sunday to get a better grade. So I know that a lot of teachers do that. I'm a little bit lenient on that because I do want you guys to excel and actually understand the content, so you guys know what I'm looking for. So it will kind of make your other classes a little bit easier too as well. Any other questions? Do you guys have questions with that? I'm glad that you like that, Brandy. Yeah, not all teachers will do that, but like I said, I'm a little bit more lenient when it comes to that because I do want my students to master their assignments. Right here, you're seeing that there's no questions. I'm going to continue on. Exploration assignment expectations. And I know, guys, this is a lot of information, so you know, you can always review this live recording or ask questions if you don't understand something, because I know for some of you this is your first class with Rasmussen, and it is a little bit different probably from the traditional going to face-to-face class if you haven't done that. So you know, like I said, I'm all here to support you and to make you guys succeed. So yeah. So the next thing, exploration assignments and key areas of focus. Module 2, which starts this module, through Module 6, you will submit an exploration assignment. This assignment is due by 11:59 Central Standard Time on Sundays. Like I said, everything is usually due on Sundays except for your initial discussion post that's due today and your discussion responses that's due on Saturday. Every other assignment is due on Sunday. So anyways, going forward with exploration assignments, so this assignment you'll view several videos and then answer 3 open-ended questions about the video. Please just take time to thoroughly read the instructions and review the rubric, as you will have the same format exploration assignments each week from 2 through 6 with different videos each week. The biggest error that I have seen from students which they make on the assignment is not providing an aha moment in question 3. In this question, I'm not looking for your favorite part of the video or what you liked. I want you to share a new perspective or insight you gained from the video. Your answer to each question should be a paragraph long with specific reference to the videos. And then this is just, you know, a good opportunity to practice your own observation skills as well as apply the book knowledge you're learning in the course into everyday classroom experience. Each week we'll have a different key area of focus that will be presented in the videos and that you will reflect upon. So this week you'll be looking at developmentally appropriate practices. you have any questions with that? Like I said, I know that's a lot of information, but it's pretty much straightforward. And if questions do arise, please reach out to me.
Are these exploration assignments, are they APA formatted?
Oh, that's a great question. That goes into my very next slide. Yes. APA guide for school or for schools education. Yes. So every assignment that you do, as far as with papers, yes, it's always APA format. Just to ensure consistency and precision for students and instructors, Rasmussen has chosen the EPA style as the standard documentation and citation style to be used in all the courses. And the EPA style provides clear references in the text and at the end of the document. By using as the common style in our classes and assignments, it streamlines documentation components of the important information as a literacy process. Basically, you know, if you are having trouble or if you are unfamiliar with APA guidelines, you can check out the Rasmussen APA guide in the Blackboard. Basically, to get there from the home page, you click on the far right tab on the top of your screen that says Resources. And then in the center column, you will see Library Resources. And then the fourth link down, it will say APA Guide. Click on that link and it will open Rasmussen APA Reference Center that has all the information you will need for APA formatting. You can use the menu on the left side of the screen to jump to the specific APA formatting that you need. And yes, for the exploration assignment, it is expected that you do use APA format. Any questions? All right, hearing and seeing that there's no questions, I'm going to continue on. Like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, please reach out to me. Once again, I'm here to help you succeed. I know APA, any kind of formatting can be a little bit challenging, especially if it's new, but let me know if you need help so I can try to get you that help. And try not to do it at the very last day of the before the assignments to do. Try to be proactive instead of reactive because, you know, in this 5.5-week course, it does go by really quick and things sneak up on you very, very quick. So I just want to make sure that you guys make sure that you have your planning and your scheduling down to get your assignments done. All right, I'm going to move on to some content. Whole child animation. So there is an activity in your lesson content folder for Module 2 where you can see how all the developmental domains kind of function together. If you have not done this already, please read about the whole child on the first slide and then click the arrow button on the right side of the slideshow to go to the next slide. Early educators and advocates must view children from a holistic perspective. Children function and learn in multiple developmental domains. The concept of the whole child is extremely important in early childhood education. Did anyone have a chance to do this? And if you have, what was your takeaways from this activity? And that's okay if you do not do it. I do really want to encourage you guys to go ahead and do that at some point because it is one of your assignments, but also it is gives you kind of more information on how to do it. And once again, like I said, the activity is in your lesson content folder for Module 2. So yeah. So like I said, there are several domains that every individual needs to learn and grow. Typically, children and adults alike have one or two domains that they really excel at naturally. And then at each age and stage of children, develop a new skill set in each domain. And as educators, it is really important for us to include all the domains in our teaching practices in order to help the whole child develop. Although educators normally tend to focus on the cognitive, intellectual development, every other area, such as physical and social emotional development, is equally important, especially when you're working with young children, because each skill kind of goes hand in hand. For example, a child who excels intellectually in intellectual development cognitively might not struggle with learning new concepts, sorting letters, sounds, etc., but might have trouble making friends, kind of that social aspect. So, you know, it's really imperative as educators in the ECE field that we focus on the whole child and provide those opportunities for children who struggle with different development domains, and just making sure that our classrooms are really enriched with all of those domains. Now, having said that, if you are viewing this online and if you are here and actively participating, you know, what are your strongest domains? What are the ones that you find the most challenging? How does the concept of full development, how does the whole child fit with your knowledge of ECE, and how do you support each child's growth and development in your classroom? Like I said, if you're viewing this online, you will have to answer this in paragraph format. If you are not viewing this online, I would like to hear from you, just to tell you a little bit about what your what your strongest domains are, and ones that you find most challenging, and how does it fit to the whole child of what you know in ECE, and then how do you support each child's growth and development in your classroom. I could say for myself, my strongest domain would be physical development, because I'm good with hand-eye coordination and I'm active. One of the ones that I find the most challenging is sometimes I am introverted socially. I don't like to talk to too many people. So yeah, sometimes, you know, if children cannot express themselves, they can be frustrated and angry and withdrawn. You know, just making sure that, you know your children to best support them. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys. What do you find as your strongest domain? What do you see it as your weakest? I apologize if you guys hear my dog in the background. He's barking at something and I don't know what.
In my background too, so. I'd say I'd have to agree with if kids can't talk very well, they don't know how to express what they're feeling or what they're trying to say, so they act out and they, you know, start using their hands and start getting physical sometimes. So I try to see the signs before they get physical, especially with another child, and working more with their words and language and stuff. I guess I try to do a play-based curriculum. I do home daycare right now, so trying to do more play-based instead of school structure, because they already, you know, they'll be already sitting in school structure for how many years. So if we can sit down and play with blocks and learn to count and sort colors and add and stuff like that, I feel like it helps them be more engaged as well.
What do you see as the most challenging?
Good question. Depends on the day, and it depends on the child.
How about for yourself?
For myself, I would say when they can't talk and express how they're getting it, and like I might be trying to teach them something that they're completely not getting. Like with algebra, for me, I completely don't understand that at all. My husband was trying to teach me that, and I'm like, you're just making it worse. So for a child to not know how to express, how to explain something and how they feel about something, you know, and they don't get that we're just trying to help them, but they don't know any better either. So I guess trying to explain to them in a way that that specific child will understand it.
Thank you for sharing, Brandy.
Yep.
Ina said that her strongest domain is cognitive and language. Physical is the most challenging. She don't have the field experience yet, but engaging in all domains with ample time and flexibility is a must. Yes. Thank you for sharing. Going back to what Brandy said, you know, with the social, emotional, knowing the key, really getting that relationship and knowing the cues of your children and when they are going to possibly act up. Knowing that is one huge step, because then you could kind of be proactive and redirect them to where to a different activity or something else. So, you know, trying to know your children being is a huge thing in early childhood education and developing that relationship. All right, I would like to hear from others. Yes, flexibility is a must, especially with lesson plans, because sometimes lesson plans don't go to accordingly, and you really have to really adjust yourself to make sure that the children are engaged and having fun and learning something all at once.
I'd have to say my strongest domain is also cognitive, and physical would be my, especially growth motor, would be my biggest challenge. And the concept of whole child, I do know that a lot of times that how would I phrase it? A lot of times all the areas of development may not develop at the same time in each child, and some of them are stronger in some areas than in others, but they compensate in those they compensate in the stronger areas for those weaker areas. So those children that might have strong cognitive skills, a lot of times are not the strongest physically as well. I've noticed that in with the children. And as far as supporting growth and development. It's done, but done with a lot of observation, and it's just a matter of observing them to see what areas they need to develop, what areas still need to develop, what areas are developing, and to just more so plan your lessons accordingly. As you said, a lesson plan may not always work, so sometimes you have to, most times you have to adjust the lesson plan and follow along with their interests and where their strengths and weaknesses lie.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Knowing what their interests are is really key for having an engaging and an effective lesson plan. So yeah, yeah, great. Thanks for sharing.
For me, I think my strongest domain is language. I'm currently in the twos room, and we have a lot of nonverbal kids who, like they said, they have a hard time expressing themselves. So I've been trying like to find better ways or to get them to not get to that point and try to let them know like I understand them, like to not get frustrated. 'Cause and also, I think right now I'm having trouble like with like they said, time management with lesson plans. There's days where I can't complete like everything I have written down, and I want to be able to complete most of them to get them the learning and from the day instead of just brushing through it.
Yeah, I think it's really key to, you know, as teachers, we do sometimes tend to overplan our lessons, but we don't get to something, you know, I think we got to realize that, you know, that's okay. The children, what did you want to get out of the lesson, and what did you want the children to learn from the lesson is a really big key when you lesson plan, because you want the objective to be met and master it before you move on to something else. And for some reason, if it doesn't happen, then you could go back and try to revamp that lesson to make it more conducive for the development of each child. Anyone else? Yvette, I didn't hear from you. Do you have any comments? Anyone else have any comments? All right, here and seeing that there's no other comments, I am going to continue on with the last thing for tonight. See my computer work. Uh-oh, no. There we go. Examples of state licensing critical to child safety. So, state licensing, I did post in the video earlier this week about state licensing that are critical to child safety, and I wanted you guys to come here to share a little bit about this. If you are viewing this online, I would like you to do the same. The question is, what are some of your state licensing regulations that stood out to each of you? So basically, you know, state licensing to child safety, just want to share a little bit. So I wanted to share a licensing regulation in my state that I'll share with you guys first, and then you guys could chime in on what stood out to you in your state for child care licensing. So in Colorado, one regulation which really stands out to me is the staff-to-child ratio for infant care. I personally think that these ratios here in Colorado are very high and to provide individualized quality care and attention. Our infant ratio is the highest in the nation, and I believe it proves that it's really inadequate and it's not very effective. If I ever try to start making laws, which I don't think I ever will, but I would really advocate for a lower ratio in Colorado. So basically for infant care, you know, toddlers, they're kind of a little bit more, but infant care, we have 1 staff member to 5 infants. I know that quality care cannot be actually given when it's 1 staff to 5 infants. I was a director for child care center for several years, and it's just, you just can't do it effectively. It's just too many needs with children that are too young. And I really want to change that, and I would like to see that changed. So that is kind of one of the things for child care licensing, critical to child safety, that really stands out to me in Colorado. I'm just going to open it up for you guys to talk about what you thought was what stood out to you the most.
I agree with that. In Minnesota, it's 1 to 4 for infants here. And even for infants, like if they're all hungry at the same time, you only have 2 arms. You can't, you know, and if they can't hold their bottle themselves, you can't prop them up at all, or, you know, use 1 hand for 1 kid and the other with the other. It's just not doable most days. And one example for me is like, you have to have so many blocks and, you know, books and whatever for each child. But if you have, say you only have 4 kids that day, but, you know, you're licensed for 12, you should have 1 for each 12 of those kids. But if you only have 4 kids that day, you obviously will have all the other books put away. But if a licensor comes in and says, oh, you need to have all 12 of those books out, well, I'm not going to be concerned about the 12 books. I'm concerned about the 4 kids that I have. So it's like a lot of them they're pushy on the qualifications of how many books and how many ripped pages and the things you need than the quality of care, I feel.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that it is like that, because what does books have to do with safety?
Exactly. And I mean, I get, like, yes, every kid should have, you know, so many toys to play with, and I can't just have 1 block for 12 kids. I totally understand that. But I'm not going to have every single toy out at one time either. You know, 2 kids can be playing with blocks, 2 kids can be playing with books. So if it happens to be that, you know, a day that a licensor comes and is nitpicking about a ripped page in a book, it's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm feeding the 4 kids that I have to take care of. It's just, some of it is just unrealistic expectations.
That's really interesting that your licensing specialists look at the quality of your classroom with materials and such.
Yep.
I know in Colorado they look more at safety stuff like nap time, spacing, just different little things like that, crib precautions, making sure things are labeled. I did have a teacher at one point in my career give breast milk to the wrong baby. I mean, that didn't go over very well, but I mean, there's just really, I mean, you just really have to look for stuff that isn't going to hurt the child. I mean, a book, a torn page, probably not going to, be very harmful.
Right. I mean, I'm sure the parents want us thinking more about their kids and not taking too much time out of our day to literally check through every book to make sure it didn't get ripped throughout the day.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. But we could get a citation if we have a book that's ripped. So it's like, yes, we have to care about that, but I'm more concerned about, you know, making sure little Susie has her diaper changed every so often and, you know, making sure I'm giving the right breast milk to a child.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that I agree with you 100%. That's more along the lines of actually caring for children and especially for infant safety. That's huge. The book thing, I kind of scratch my head.
I know it. It's not.
Thank you for sharing.
In Illinois, they have a standard that I actually like, that staff is supposed to do a pre-admission check on children to determine if there's any signs of illness or anything that we should be concerned about. And I like that standard because a lot of times parents will try to Tylenol or Motrin the kids to death and send them in with something that they should not be around other kids with, such as hand, foot, and mouth, or very high fevers and diarrhea. And and sometimes if you pay attention, if you do a pre-admission screening when the children come, you a lot of times can tell if they have been medicated, and then you'll know whether or not it's safe for them to be around the other children. Because if you don't, a lot of times once the medication wears off, that's when you start to notice. And by then, the children have already contaminated other toys. They've already contaminated the children, and it becomes a whole epidemic now with more than just one child having whatever that was that child had. So I do like that standard.
That's something you do every day with every child when they walk in?
Yes.
Okay.
That's great. I you know, it doesn't matter which program you're in. I feel like parents, we call it the pump and dump. Pump the medicine into the children even when they're sick, and then they send them to school, and just to find out 4 hours later when the medicine wears off that they vomit everywhere and they have to go home. And it is a little ridiculous because then, yes, you contaminate the rest of the classroom and everybody else gets sick, and it's kind of selfish, actually.
It's very selfish, and then some of the parents say, oh, well, I put some Tylenol in their bag. Can you give them some more? No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. You need to come and get your kid. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing.
And more miserable throughout the day. Like, who wants to sit at daycare or at school when they don't feel good? I want to be home, you know.
Exactly. And in one instance, the parent sent the child, and the child walked in the door sick, and the child starts saying, well, I'm not, no, he says, I have an owie, and he's pointing to his stomach, and I said, your stomach hurts? He said, yeah, my stomach hurts. I said, well, let's see what's wrong. His mom says, well, he said his stomach was hurting, but I didn't believe him, so just let me know what happened. Oh.
Don't believe them until they throw up, or what?
Oh, he had hand, foot, and mouth.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
So a little perturbed. I said, well, now you're going to have to leave your job and come back and get him.
Yep, and then have to stay home with him because he won't be able to come back the next day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
she says, well, I can just bring him back because it's like a Tuesday. She says, well, by Thursday he should be fine. I can bring him back. No, I need you just to keep him out for a while.
They need a doctor's note too, don't they?
They do need a doctor's note, yes. But the doctors say that they can come back when there is, I believe they give them something like 48 hours or something, but if you still have lesion, if you still have open sores or lesions, you cannot come back.
Yeah, it has to be scabbed over there.
I don't even want them scabbed over. I want them closed because children pick at the scab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hit on a lot of good things. This is so true, though. It's everyday problems at child care centers.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, I get people have to work and stuff, but a lot of it I feel is just really selfishness. And I always tell my staff, if your child's sick, stay home. And you know what? Work will still go on. But your family's first, and work comes later. I mean, I understand people need to pay the bills, but I also understand that people also need to be respectful of everyone else too, and getting everybody sick is just, it puts people on outbreak, and it's just not good practice at all. Anyone else?
For me, it has to be ratios. The two ratio is 8 to 1. We currently have 16 children in our classroom, and I just feel like that's too many kids because it's kind of hard to pay attention to like all the kids and like make sure they all get like their learning for the day. Like it gets too hectic sometimes because like I feel like our rooms are just too small, and then we have 16 kids and then 2 teachers in the room. That's 18 people in a room, and the days.
What ages?
Sorry?
What ages was it? Sorry.
2.
Oh, and that's potty training too, so you're constantly changing diapers all the time.
Yes. And like today we had 15 kids and like it was a little hectic, like trying to get like circle time in and like the lesson plans for the day. And then the days when we have like 10 or 11 kids, I feel like the day just goes by smoother. Like we're able to sit through circle time, we're able to get through the lesson plans, and like there's not many like accidents because there's some days where the kids like with too many kids they get too like hyper and like run around and it's harder to get them to calm down.
No, I get it. Like the Colorado, the state regulation is for 3 to 5 year olds is 1 to 10 ratio. Our program, we do a 1 to 8 ratio because we're federally funded, but we also want to make sure that enough care is given to those kids. A lot of them are high needs kids with different trauma and different situations like that. But yeah, just because the max, and that might be, it's kind of, I don't want to say this wrong, but it's kind of the problem with for-profit centers. You get a lot of people who want money and want the money, so they put a lot of kids into a room, and who suffers for it? So actually the children and the teachers, everybody kind of suffers because they're not getting that quality of care for individualized learning.
Mm.
All right. Well, we went way over our session. Does anyone have any questions about the live session?
How long do they normally are supposed to go for?
Well, I usually try to keep it under an hour if I can, but if there's good conversation and stuff, and usually if the first one is usually a lot longer because there's just so much information to cover. So basically, yeah, I try to do it between 30 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it goes over, sometimes it goes under. For some reason, if you guys cannot attend the next live session, it will always be posted the day after for you guys to review, and then you guys will have a chance to review it and answer all the questions that I ask in paragraph format. But if you guys don't have any questions, the only thing I have you guys do is type your name in the chat box. That tells me that you are here and tells me that you participated, and you will not have to do anything else to receive any points for a live session. I want to thank you all for participating tonight. You guys have been great. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.